Hello, this is Roberto and this is the HVAC channel. Today we're going to be talking about REScheck part 4. Alright, so let's get into it. In the previous video, we were preparing all the data in order to apply it to REScheck WEB. Okay, so now what we have on the screen is, as we remember, we need to have an account. So I have my account I created, my username, my password, and I have hvacism@gmail.com. So now I'm logged in. Okay, so as we remember, we have two options: the desktop version or the web version, in order to run our REScheck energy compliance report. All right, so now that we have this, we're going to start for the following. So in here you have the option home, my projects, shared projects. So we're going to go to my project right here, and then you can click in here new project. You can also have a create sample project or import. If you have a desktop, REScheck desktop, you can import it, but in this case you have a new project. And also, if you have any question also further than this, you can always resort to the help center. So help desk center, you send them an email and they are very responsive. 1 day, 2 days, but they always respond. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and do a new project. So once we do a new project, as we know, we have three options: project, envelope, and compliance. So project is pretty much, we're trying to fill out the information, that's all. Okay, so the envelope is the most important part. And then after you fill out the data in the envelope, you're gonna check for compliance, if it complies or if it doesn't comply, if it passes energy code or if it doesn't pass energy code. Okay, so we're gonna start with the project. So project information you have in here in the first part. All of this is project. Okay, we have him under project info, building characteristics. We have information as construction site, owner, agent, designer, contractor, and you can always put any notes. Depends how much detail you want to put in here. Okay, so now let's start with the project information. So the project title, this is going to be a house. Let's put in here something like Donovan Residence. Okay, Donovan Residence. See, we're trying to run this REScheck for Donovan Residence. You can put any title for your project, or you can put the street address, whichever. Now this is very important, because what energy are you applying for this REScheck? Okay, that energy code depends on the location. So basically this project is going to be located in the following. So let's go, we're going to put in here Fairfax. Yeah, Fairfax, Virginia. There we go. Fairfax, Virginia. And it's going to show you in here which Fairfax, Virginia. Okay, so you can put Washington, DC, Minnesota, any place in the United States. But in here, now you need to know what energy code is applied in Virginia. What is the eligible code? Because in here you need to check which year of International Energy Conservation Code you are applying. So in this case we have 5 options: 2009, 12, 19, 18, and 21. Okay, so let's start with this. 2009 is very flexible. So in other words, once you put your envelope data, you're gonna be able to most likely pass code. It's gonna say, oh, it passes, this house passes. If you have 2012, it could pass. If it's 2015, oh, hopefully it passes. 2018, it's more strict. So you need to have better insulation or better energy efficiency, so it passes. And if it's 2021, it's even more complicated, or it's kind of harder to make it pass, right? So let's check on Virginia what international energy code is applied. So as we remember in other videos, I show how to look up for this code. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put in here app codes, and then we're gonna have Virginia. And then there you go, Virginia building codes in app codes. So under Virginia building codes, we see that these are all the codes, right? So in Virginia, we have Virginia mechanical code. We don't need that. We need this. Virginia Energy Code 2018. They have their own code. However, they are based on the IECC 2018. So in other words, it's a little bit harder to make it pass unless you have better insulation, better U factor, solar heat gain coefficient for the windows. So IECC 2018. So we're gonna go here and then put IECC 2018. There we go. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and go the project type. It's gonna be a new construction. You have also the option to do addition or alteration. In this case, it's gonna be a new construction. Now, compliance method, you have two options to do the UA trade-off or the performance alternative. When you're doing the UA trade-off, you're only putting information about the envelope, which means the wall area and the wall U value, UA, right? U factor times gross area. U factor an area of who? The envelope. Okay, and whenever you're doing performance alternative, what you are taking into account is the mechanical system, and as you can see in here, the mechanical tab shows up in here. So if you click on the mechanical tab, you're going to be able to put in here if it's a heat pump, if it's a furnace. See, you can add your equipment in here. All right, that's more applicable actually for CompCheck. In CompCheck, we always take into account the mainly performance. We put the mechanical data in CompCheck, but in REScheck, most likely is the envelope. Okay, so we're going to go back. So we're going to put in here UA trade-off. However, we need to put the orientation of the walls. So in order to put the orientation of the walls, at times we have to put performance alternative in here, but I don't want to confuse anyone. It's UA trade-off. Okay, so project information is all good. Now we're going to go ahead for the building characteristics. Construction type is going to be 1 to 2 family detached, or you can also put multi-family. There we go. So sometimes we have to do townhomes or row townhouses. So we're going to make more examples about that. But in this case, based on our example, 1-story single home, we have 1 family detached. There you go. And then what is the conditioned floor area? So in the report in the previous video, we had this information right here. See, the entire house has a square feet of 1449 square feet. So that's what we're going to put in here. We're going to put 1449 square feet. There you go. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is orientation. What is the orientation? It's not enabled. So just check on here and we're going to put enable. When we're saying about the orientation, we need to consider the front door. Front faces what? So we're going to go ahead and here. What is the front door facing? The front door, as you can see in here, entry door is facing south. See, in here it says S, south. Okay, so if it's facing south, we're gonna put in here south, right here, south 180 degrees. All right, it's facing south. There we go. Now we're gonna go ahead for additional features. This is something special. See in here, if are all ducts and air handlers located within conditioned space? In our case, not really, because our main equipment, air handler or our ducts, are located actually in the attic. See, all ducts in the attic. Now, ducts buried in the ceiling insulation? No. Thermally isolated sunroom? We don't have a sunroom. Pool, in-ground spa? I wish. We don't. Interior wood burning for fireplace? Not really. Usually nowadays it's electric. Now we have the building characteristics. We're going to go ahead and do the information. The information is going to be optional, but in here you have the construction site. We're going to put this again, Fairfax. Virginia, Fairfax. The street address actually is telling me, but I don't need to do that actually. A street address. what we're gonna do in here is just gonna copy paste, Control C, and then city. We're gonna put in here the following. Yes, let's put in here Fairfax. Okay, Fairfax state. We're gonna put Virginia, zip code. You can always put the zip code, and then you can also put the information about the permit number, permit date, but that's extra. That's optional. Just it's extra. You can put in here the owner. The owner could be the Donovan family. Donovan. See, you can put even the first name. That could be John. See, John Donovan, and then you can put a company. You can put the company in there, right? Let's put in here real estate, right? Real estate Inc., for example, right? And then you can also put the address of the owner or the agent in here, the home, phone, email, estate, the same information. This is pretty much just information. It doesn't have to do anything with the calculation, all right? Designer, contractor, in here you can put, for example, last name Salazar, and then company, AGS, heating and air conditioning, for example, conditioning, the contractor or the designer, and then you can put in here the address. Let's put in here Lorton, State, Virginia, and then you can also put the phone number or email in here in the report. And then in the notes you can also put more information. You can put like you know, one equipment or single home, detached, or whatever information you consider is important. So this is the project information, and you can always save it. The good advantage of this is that this is online, so you can always access to this anytime. So see, it's saved already. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and go for the envelope. So in the envelope we have this, and this is the most important part of REScheck. So in here I'm going to take my time. So I'm going to make one wall, one window, and ceiling and floor. And since I have a lot of walls, I'm gonna do just one window, one wall, and then the rest I'm gonna fast forward the video, so that way it's not a long video. Okay, so let's start with the ceiling. We're gonna add the ceiling. What are they telling us in the ceiling? So if we click in here, we're gonna see ceiling add. So when we put add ceiling, so under the ceiling we have a lot of options to choose. So in this case, what we're gonna do is we're gonna choose flat ceiling or scissor truss. You can have cathedral ceiling, raised energy truss, steel truss. You have more information, and sometimes you don't understand or you don't know which one applies to your project. You can always resort to the help desk of REScheck, and they're gonna answer you in 1 day, 2 days. Okay, so now in this case, since we have an attic, we're gonna put flat ceiling or scissor truss. There we go. And then it's asking us component, ceiling, gross area. What is the gross area of my ceiling? That's why I have my information handy in here, right? And actually I did this in the other video, right? So I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger. There we go, so everyone can see. Okay, so what's the gross area of my ceiling? C for me from my right soft report, C means ceiling. So the ceiling is gonna be equal to the gross area. What is the gross area? In here I have the gross area 1449. So gross area 1449 for the ceiling. So that's what I'm gonna put in here, 1449. What is the R value of my project actually? So the R value based on the previous video is gonna be the following. Cavity R value of the ceiling was R18. I mean R38. So honestly, that is not looking good, because especially for that IECC 2018, this seems to be very low. So technically we're not gonna pass code, so that's why it's the UA trade-off. We're gonna have to add more insulation to the attic. We're gonna have to put R49 and possibly it passes, but with R38 is so little. Continuous R value, we don't have any continuous R value, and we're gonna hit apply. So ceiling is done. Okay, we don't worry about the ceiling anymore. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and also you can always save this. See, I'm gonna save in here, and as you can see here, project saved successfully. Now we're gonna go ahead and do the floor. Okay, so because the one that takes more time are the walls, we're gonna go for foundation. So under foundation, I'm going to put this on the side. And then under foundation, we're going to add what? Floor. What kind of floor? Is it the slab? Is it the basement? Is it the crawl wall? What is it? So in this case, we're going to have a slab. We're going to just put a floor. And then we have options. Under these options, we're going to have, it's not a steel frame, it's not usually in commercial. So a slab on grade, and it's not heated, it's unheated. So usually sometimes they put hydronic and then pipes and then it's heated. But in this case, it's a slab on grade, unheated. And we're going to click in that option and it's going to ask us component, floor, running length perimeter. So under the running length perimeter, we calculated already. That's going to be 177. And if you don't understand this part again, ask help desk. They are very helpful. Okay. So now we're going to go in here, continuous R value. Our continuous R value for the floor is going to be R10. But depends on the location again. Sometimes in South Carolina or on the south, Miami, or depends on the location or the county. They have specific requirements. So you need to reach out to your county and then they will let you know what are the specific requirements. Okay. So in this case, we're going to put our continuous R20 depth of insulation. In this case, we're going to put 4. See, it's the maximum, number 4. But for this also depends on the location. So 4 is for cold places, 0 is when lower climate zones, and if you put a 2 is an average. So we're going to take into account a 4 in here. All right, so what is the position of the insulation? In here we're going to put, like, you have options: vertical insulation, fully insulated, R value, or horizontal with vertical slab insulation. We're going to apply with this. Okay, so now my floor is completed and you're gonna hit apply. So we have a floor. Okay, we have a floor. And as you can see in here, it's already calculating the gross area and U factor. So that's why it's the UA trade-off. Okay, so now that we have the ceiling and the floor, that's out already. That's we got rid of that. So we took care of that. In other words, we're gonna go ahead and do the walls. So for the walls, we're going to have the following. Click on the walls and we're going to put in add wall. And under the wall, we're going to have these options: wood frame, 16 OC, 24 OC. And also I have other videos to explain what is 16 OC, 24 OC. This means on center for the stud spacing. And I have another video. Okay. Now we're going to, in this case, what we're going to put is wood frame, 16 OC. And then once we select the type of wall, it's going to ask us, what is the gross area? So let's start with this wall. Okay, I'm going to go here. See, I'm going to go here. So let's start with the first wall. What if we start with this wall right here? Because this wall has a window and has a door. Okay, so we're going to start with that wall. So I'm going to put this wall number 3. See, wall 1, wall 2, wall 3, wall 4. I'm going to start with wall number 3. Okay, so in this case, what we're going to do is put wall number 3. There you go. And it's populating already because I've been playing around with this a little bit more. Okay, so we're putting as wall 3 gross area. What is the gross area of wall 3? We go here and the gross area is 171. See, gross area 171. So that's what we're going to put in here, 171. Orientation. What is the orientation? Is south. If it's south, in my previous video, I explained what south means. What south means is the following. South is front, right? In here, we're going to put front. Right, in my previous video we saw that this is front. Okay, so what is the cavity insulation for this? The cavity insulation is going to be in here. Actually, I have in my other video that it's R15. And again, this is low. I don't feel optimistic that it's going to pass because R15 is not so much. We should have a continuous insulation value in here, so that way this goes up to R21 or even more. See, that way it could pass. So this is not looking good, but this program is gonna let us know. So we're gonna hit in here apply. We created a wall. So once you create a wall, Then you're able to create as a child or as a subfolder, as a subdivision, you're able to create a window and a door. First, you need the wall to create a window and a door. So since we have the wall, now we can add something in here. So what we're going to do in here is going to add, what do you want to add? A wall, a window, or a door? A window. So what we're going to do is select a window. All right. So in the window, it's telling you who's the parent assembly. This window is going to be owned by wall number 3. So what type of window is going to be? Metal frame with thermal break. This is going to be a vinyl frame. The most usually it's vinyl frame. Okay. Now glazing type is going to be single pane. No, in this single pane is not going to pass. So we're going to put a double pane with low E. That's what usually they put. And then we're going to put component window. Let's put window in here number 3. There you go. Since number if this is wall 3, let's put wall 3, and then this is number 1. See, window 3 1. This means window wall 3 and 1. Window number 1 of wall 3. Okay, so you can name it anything. So now what is the gross area of that window? We're gonna go here in my data, and then in here for wall 3 we have G, which is glass window. In this window, what we have is the gross area. What is the gross area of this? Is 30, as you can see in here, it's 30. So we're gonna put gross area 30. U factor, in this case, we're gonna put 0.3. Solar heat gain coefficient 0.2. There you go. So 0.3 and solar heat gain coefficient 0.2. And also we can see that in my other video, right? On my previous video. Now we're gonna hit OK in here. We added a window. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add finally the door, and here we're going to put the door, and under the door what we're going to do is in the door we're going to put this door of wall 3, and this door 1. See, and in this door, is it a solid door or is a glass door? This is not a glass door, this is the entry door. Since it's the entry door and I don't have a lot of glazing, it's a wood door, we're gonna put solid door. However, if it has a lot of windows or, you know, for natural light, depends on how much glazing percentage you consider this. Under 50% of glazing or over 50% of glazing. If it's more than 50% glazing, we're gonna consider this as a glass door. Okay, so for now we're gonna put as a solid door, and then the gross area of my door is usually 20, but we'll see. The entry door is 21 in here, the gross area of my entry door. So in this case, we're gonna put 21, and then what's the U factor? The U factor that we calculated in my other video was 167. Apply. There we go. We have all the information we needed. Of course, I have to work on more walls. 1, 2, 3, 4 more walls. Okay, so I'm gonna add all these walls, and I'm gonna fast forward this very quickly. Alrighty, finally I have all the information available. So now that we have all the information available, we completed the envelope. Now what we're gonna do is, and remember, this is the UA trade-off method, which is also called prescriptive method, okay? So now we're gonna go check the compliance, but first of all, you need to save. We're gonna save this, and then it's being saved. There we go. Oh, unfortunately, we're not compliant. See, compliance. Let's go to compliance. It says compliance status fails by 10.1%. Compliance method UA trade-off maximum UA. Maximum conductance is 188. And mine passes actually 207. So my house is not that energy efficient. Now in here you're going to be able to see the reviewer's checklist. So here you're going to be checking on the code. So if this passes, this doesn't apply actually. Oh, there we go. Some of them don't apply. There you go. So now once you have the report, what you have to do is you have to play with the envelope. So you can go and find out, talk to the owner and let them know your house is not energy efficient. Okay, so for example, if we go to the envelope, see right now it's 1011. What we're going to do is change the ceiling, for example, because in the attic there's a lot of energy inefficiencies. Okay, so in here we're going to put floor. Where is the ceiling? In here, ceiling. In the ceiling we have R38. So what happens if we edit? In here you can edit. See right here, edit. Instead of R38 we're going to put R49. Okay, let's spend more money. And then once you save it, what's our compliance in here? Okay, oh, there we go. It's going lower. See, compliance negative 7.4. right? So now the same thing, you're gonna go to the homeowner and then you're gonna let them know, okay, we need still to make this pass, so we're gonna need more insulation in here. So what we're gonna do is put R19, so R21, and then let's see how it says. So if you put to one wall, you have to put the all walls. So let's check just to be curious on the compliance. See, 6.4%. So what we're going to do now is we're going to change this to R21. So we're going to put in here R21 and then apply, and then wall number 2, edit, we're going to put R21, see, and apply, and then wall number 4, what we're going to do is we're going to put R21 and then apply, and then we're going to put in here for the wall R21 and then apply. And then what do you have in here? So let's see if we save, how much is our compliance in here? Oh, you're better. See, overall now you pass code. Okay. Yeah, that's going to be very good, especially in Virginia. So now that you're able to see that, what are these? So in here, you're going to be able to see an overview of what are the characteristics of your envelope, right? So now what you can do is check compliance. You can always check compliance in here, and it says passes, right? So once it passes, you can go to the report, and in the report, this gives you the option. What report do you want? Which sections do you want to include? Do you want to include compliance certificate? Of course, I like this compliance certificate. Usually in Virginia, they put it in the control panels, electrical panel, and then they put a small sticker there that it passes. Or inspection checklist or panel certificate. This compliance certificate is like the complete report. So let's go check in here, check all, because if you have it all selected, you can anyways delete any page from PDF, right? So it doesn't hurt. So let's put in here continue. So once you continue the report, is this document final? Yeah, you can put yes or no. You can make more edits or you cannot make more edits, whichever you want. Let's put like no in this case. And then automatically it gave me the report. Let's check on the report. Once you click in here in the report, this is how it looks. So once we have this, don't submit this report yet, because anytime you print out something, you have to double check on the data always. That's very important and recommended. See, the project is Donovan residence, the energy code is this, Fairfax single family, construction, glazing area 10%. We have in here all the information, and then in here we're going to be able to see 6.9% better than code, maximum UA, my UA, solar heat gain coefficient. We have this. Okay, so in here you have an overall overview or overall numbers that you inputted. But as you can see in this line, you have the UA conductance, U factor, and also the area. So that's what it's very important in here. You can put in here all your information, project notes. This is the inspection checklist. And then at the bottom, you're going to be able to see the following, which is the panel certificate. There you go. See, 2018 IECC-Energy certificate, you have the values. And as you remember, we didn't put the information of the equipment because this is not performance. This is prescriptive method, right? Usually you have another software to do this too, which is called the Ecotrop. Okay, all right, so I hope you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to hit the like button, that helps a lot, and subscribe. All right, thank you for watching. HVAC is my channel. See you in the next video.